Have you ever noticed how a man and a woman can do the exact same workout but end up with, well, very different results? It's one of the biggest questions in fitness, and today we are going to get into the real science behind it. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with who's working harder.
All right, let's just tackle the elephant in the room right away. It's this fear, this myth, that if a woman even looks at a heavy dumbbell, she's going to suddenly blow up and look like a professional bodybuilder. It's a really powerful idea that holds a lot of people back, but is there any truth to it at all?
To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to look beyond the weight room and, look at our actual biology. The differences we see aren't about your effort level, they're literally built into our physiology. So let's walk through the 4 key factors that really explain pretty much everything. Okay, first up, and honestly, this is the big one, it's all about the hormonal difference. And when we say hormones, we are really talking about testosterone. So let's just start with the scale of this difference, because it's pretty staggering. On average, men have anywhere from 10 to 20 times more testosterone in their system than women. That's not a small difference, right? That's a massive biological head start when it comes to building muscle. And I mean, you can see it right here. This isn't just a small gap. It's a huge hormonal gulf. This creates a completely different biological playground for muscle growth right from the start. So what is testosterone actually doing? Well, you can think of it as the body's general contractor for building muscle. It's constantly sending out signals to build new muscle tissue. It helps you recover way faster so you can train again. And it even protects the muscle you already have. It's a huge deal. A really good way to think about it, especially if you're a gamer, is that it's like men have a permanent muscle gain buff, just switched on, all the time. Women can absolutely build muscle, of course, but men's bodies are hormonally primed for it 24/7. But it's not just about the hormonal software, if you will. The actual hardware, our muscles themselves, is different too. And that brings us to our second point. We are literally working with different muscle blueprints. So our muscles are made up of different types of fibers. Men tend to have more of what are called type 2 or fast twitch fibers. These are your power fibers. They're built for explosive stuff like sprinting or a super heavy lift. And here's the key, they have way more potential for growth. Women, on the other hand, tend to have a higher proportion of type 1 or slow twitch fibers. These things are endurance monsters, but they just don't get bigger as easily. So right there, the potential for that visible bulk is already different. Okay, so we've got different hormones, we've got different muscle fibers. The third factor is all about strategy. It's how our bodies decide to use the energy we give them. If you think about it from an evolutionary standpoint, a woman's body has one top priority: reproductive health. What that means is the body is incredibly good at storing energy as fat and keeping the hormonal system stable, just in case. So as you can see, building huge muscles just isn't at the top of the body's to-do list for any extra calories. Let's put it really simply. When a guy has extra calories, his body's first thought is, awesome, let's build some muscle. For a woman, the body's first instinct is often, okay, let's store some of this energy and make sure our hormone system is happy and stable. It's just a different set of priorities. All right, our fourth and final piece of this puzzle isn't actually in the muscles themselves. It's in the system that tells them what to do, the nervous system. Think of your brain as a general, and your muscle fibers are all the soldiers. Well, on average, men's nervous systems have a stronger signal, what we call neural drive. This means the general can shout an order and get more soldiers to jump into action all at once. Activating more fibers like that creates more force, and that force is the signal that tells the muscle, hey, you need to get bigger and stronger. Okay, so we've talked about hormones, muscle fibers, energy plans, and even the nervous system. We've laid out all the biological evidence. So now let's circle all the way back to that first question and give our final verdict. In Chinese, there's this fantastic term for it, Jingdang Barbie. It basically translates to King Kong Barbie or Muscle Barbie. It perfectly captures this fear of a woman becoming, too muscular. But is it something that can actually happen? For the vast, vast majority of women who are training naturally, the answer is pretty simple. It is almost impossible. And it's so important to understand why. The physiques you see on female professional bodybuilders, that's the result of decades of incredibly specific, disciplined training and meticulously planned diets. And in many cases, it also requires, frankly, pharmacology to get around the exact biological limits we just talked about. For the average woman hitting the gym, it is just not in the biological cards. So, okay, If you're not going to accidentally turn into a muscle Barbie, then what is the reward for all that hard work in the gym? Well, this is where the story gets really, really good. The real rewards are just incredible. You build lean muscle, which fires up your metabolism 24/7. You improve your posture and you build stronger bones, which is so crucial as you get older. The mental health benefits are massive. We're talking real, studied reductions in anxiety and depression. Plus, it makes your body way better at handling sugar. These aren't just small things. These are life-changing benefits. So in the end, the result of strength training for women isn't about getting huge. It's about getting strong. It's about feeling tighter, more stable, more capable in your own skin. The aesthetic change you're going to see is one of definition and tone, not sheer size.
So there you have it. The science is clear, the myth is officially busted, and the real benefits, they're undeniable. So the only real question left is for you. How are you going to define your strength?